Welcome to the Daily Edge. Another wonderful episode in front of us. We've got Gary Sarner, who is going to be here, a true business warrior. We're going to dive into the story of coming up through the radio industry, mastering advertising, and building something of your own. Let's find our edge. Let's find our edge. That starts with our affirmation. My career is a compounding story. I learn, adapt, and level up. Every chapter builds the next, and the ROI is who I've become. Gary Sarner, who have you become?
Wow.
Yes, got him.
You want to go deep?
No,
early.
We don't have to go deep early, but you have an unbelievable story. And to give some context to people, you knew me as a little shit, not that I'm not still a little shit, but a little shit running around at Heat games, Dolphin games, all the sporting events where you and my dad knew each other for years and years and years when he was at ABC Cellular and even beyond that when you guys started to work together at QAM. So like your story is incredible. I think there's a ton of lessons for us to be able to pull out of it, but take us back to the beginning. How'd it get started?
Wow. 1987.
Okay.
I wasn't 21 yet.
I was one, just so you know.
By the way, I had already met your dad.
Okay.
But I wasn't in radio yet.
Okay.
And I got a call from my dad, says, hey, you want to go back to college? I'm like, no. He's like, well, you better go get a job and a place to live because Mom and I are moving to South Florida. The business is sold. Huh?
Wow.
So my dad built his business on radio and newspaper back then.
Okay.
And this guy that lived around the corner from us was the manager of one of the radio stations. This is before consolidation. Mm-hmm. Radio stations were owned by one person, one in a market. And I say, hey, Mark, what is it that you do that you don't work on weekends? I grew up in retail. Mm-hmm. Every weekend I worked since I was 13. He explained to me, he asked me what my favorite radio station was. And he says, call, speak to the local sales manager, and get yourself an interview. Well, in 1987, that was not easy either.
Wow.
It might have been just as difficult as it is today, and we'll get into prospecting, I'm sure, at some point.
Of course.
I called and called. Back then, people had secretaries,
right?
Which is a faux pas word now today. And this gal, Roberta, was just so nice. I called every day. This guy would not call me back, Jim Knowles. So I showed up. The ugliest olive green suit you could imagine with a burgundy tie.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
It was bad. I thought it was fucking amazing. Double-breasted, the whole thing.
something straight out of like a 70s porn movie. Like.
John Travolta.
Right, there you go.
John Travolta. And I'm sitting on the doorstep waiting for this guy to show up in his Ford Taurus with the big bubble in the back station wagon. What are you doing here? I said, well, you won't return my call, so I'm here to work. He's like, it doesn't work like that. Right. I go, okay, let's talk then.
Right. Tell me how it does work then.
He brought me upstairs. And we hit it off. Whatever I said to him was really good.
Well, I mean, off the bat, you showed persistence, right? And you showed the tenacity or the courage to show up no matter what. So, like, for me, somebody does that to me, I'm like, you could be a complete idiot. I'm at least going to spend some time with you. The fact that you could have a conversation after that helps build your case. So then what?
So David Ross, may he rest in peace. I mean, it became my mentor.
Okay.
He's the general manager, part owner of the radio station. He says, you got to meet with him before anything can happen. I said, great. I'll be in the lobby waiting for him. 3 hours I sat there.
Wow.
But back then, there were actually magazines to
I was
read.
going to say, no phone, no nothing. You're just sitting there, but at least you had magazines to read.
I had not gotten my Alpine carry phone from your dad yet.
Right.
Not yet.
Right.
And I sat there, and David shows up, came out, says, come on back, kid. I hear some good things about you. Whatever, this conversation's not going where I think it's going to go.
Which you thought it was going to go towards employment.
Like that.
And it's not going there.
Just, he's asking me questions, things I'd never heard.
Wow.
I don't know anything about radio advertising. I know nothing. I mean, but I know I could sell.
Yeah, right.
So I said, can I ask you one personal question? He's like, sure. I said, do you invest in the stock market? He's like, yeah. I said, you should make an investment in GES. $3,000 will make you a lot of money, or in 90 days you'll be broke on that investment. He's like, can you excuse me for a moment? I knew I had him at that moment.
Right, right.
He left for 20 minutes. Comes back. It's like, there's no stock on the stock market, GES.
Right, right.
I said, no. I just asked you a question. That's me. Those are my initials.
Right.
I want $1,000 a month for 90 days. Let me prove myself. You're on.
And there's the birth of the radio career.
I got walked to a desk. That moment.
Wow.
And then, this is before computers, too.
Sure,
I mean, I'm the old fuck.
Yeah, no, yeah. No,
They take
HR
me-
was like filling out a pamphlet of papers.
They take me to the sales rack, and on top of the sales rack, there's Dade and Broward yellow pages. And he says, put your hands together. And he stacked 9 thick yellow pages. I'm literally, my hands are on the ground. I can barely move.
Right.
We walk to the desk, and now it's Jim. It's not David anymore.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, hotshot, you wanted this. Start at C. The last 8 people that sat here didn't make it. And that was the birth of my radio career in February 1987. I was not 21 yet, and I couldn't go out drinking with them.
Unreal.
I had no fake ID.
But you had the work ethic.
I had the work. I always had that.
So I want to dive into something because you said something really interesting. You knew you could sell. And I know because my dad grew up in retail and I watched my grandfather in retail. In retail, selling means creating experience, connection, familiarity, right? That bond so that somebody will purchase from you. You knew you could do that because you were in retail, right? What is that really? What is that? What did you have a confidence in knowing I don't know anything about radio? I know I have drive and I know I'm willing to work. How did you know that skill set would transition into something else?
So having worked in retail since I was 13.
Yeah.
And my dad put me behind, you might not even know, but I'm sure you do, the tape counter.
Yeah, sure, of course.
We sold cassette tapes.
Right.
So you could record
Yeah.
and make some nice love song music.
Yeah, mixtapes, baby.
There you go.
Right off of the radio. You have to
Right.
wait for your song to get played to hit record.
So I started selling tapes, and there were probably 6 different brands.
Yeah.
One had a much larger margin than the other.
Yeah.
And you knew you were good when you could sell BASF tapes instead of Maxell and TDK, which were the loss leaders.
Right.
So one day, I took it upon myself, and a customer who was buying tapes said, hey, do you guys have any new tape decks that are cool? So I went and I sold this Nakamichi tape deck for like $2,000.
Wow.
And my dad's like, how? I'm like, well, I listen to everybody.
Right.
So I knew if you ask the right questions, no matter what anybody's buying, they're going to tell you what they want. Are you smart enough to give them what they want so they feel good? Are you good enough to show them a product that might be a little bit better than what they want so they could have a better listening experience. And today, in consumer electronics, people shop online and then go pick up speakers.
Yeah.
Guess what? Most people buy all the wrong products for their home.
Right.
But the best lesson ever, because I grew up in a very well-off home. I lacked nothing.
Yeah.
Guy shows up at the store, and he's in his AAMCO, AAMCO jumper suit, grease all over him.
Yeah.
It was my up. Said to the guy next to me, he said, "You take him." He spent $30,000
Ouch.
cash
Ouch.
on a stereo system. Now, this is the time when my dad was still in the store, back in his office. He wasn't on the floor unless he wanted to show off to everybody that he still could sell better than anybody.
Right.
This guy Yanni goes in there and just got the biggest sale ever. Up. How did it happen? He says, "Well, Gary didn't want the lead, the up, gave it to me." At that moment, I was probably 16 at the time because he made me go home.
Right.
But he grabbed me by the ear. He took me all the way to the back of the warehouse and literally undressed me and said, "You will never judge another human being based on what they're wearing." That was a hard lesson at 16. I mean, I felt this big.
Yeah, small. Yeah.
And obviously, I made many mistakes through my life and through my career, but that was one that always stuck with me.
Yeah.
You don't know who's in front of you.
Which is just such like an unbelievable lesson for sales, particularly because you don't know what the opportunity is. You don't know based on, and that's one thing that kills me about sales training is like everybody wants the qualified leads, right? Or they want things to be pre-qualified. And I'm like, you don't know anything until you have a conversation. Till you start talking to somebody, they could look like the smallest organization and be spending the most. They could look like the biggest organization and be spending the least. Like you have no idea until you get into it. So fast track us a little bit because you have a long career in radio before you start your entrepreneurial journey, and there's so many things I want to dive into here. Cause like number one, you had a work ethic developed inside of you, even though you grew up in a well-off family and you didn't want for anything. I already heard you were in the store every weekend working all the time. Your dad didn't make it an excuse for you not to work because you guys had what you needed. He saw the importance for you to do that, I assume.
I came home early one night. The store manager said I could leave. So the store closed at 9. By the time you were done cleaning, it's 9:30, 9:40.
Yeah.
Got home by 10.
Yeah.
I got home at 8:30. So not that early.
Right.
What are you doing here? I'm like, Gary said, the guy's name is Gary also, that I could leave early. He's like, you don't work for Gary. You work for me. And you're going to set a fucking example. First one in, last one out, no matter what. I don't care if you go clean the toilets. But you set the example. You are my son. And I have a work ethic that nobody could match. And he did.
Right.
He did. He was never around.
Right.
Building this monster.
Yep.
And even when he had made it, he wanted to touch the consumer.
Yeah.
Because without that consumer, there's no business.
Right.
So I learned that lesson
So you
too.
get the foundation laid for you very well by your dad. I mean, and then you get into radio, and obviously you just start doing the work. But what was some of that early success for you that then led to a long career in that industry?
So I was very fortunate. Again, sales was in my blood.
Right.
I always understood as a young adult, people matter. And in my entire sales career, it was always about people. It wasn't about the radio station. And I finally found my calling. The Florida Marlins were coming into existence.
Mm-hmm.
And all I wanted to do was be part of WQAM.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really understand spoken word radio as a lead generation mechanism for a business.
Sure.
But I knew I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved listening. It was captivating. Unfortunately, the people that owned it moved like Step and Fetch It. And it was a 4-month journey to get hired.
Wow.
And it was home. And I worked my way up to become the sales manager for the Marlins and the Panthers. And I just loved it. And then we got bought.
Well, what's interesting, I think people can relate to it now because podcasts are so popular. Podcast is spoken word, right? At that time, the only way you could hear people talk about the Marlins or about the Panthers was to listen to QAM. Like, that was it. You wanted, like, I wanted to listen to Joe Rose. I wanted to listen to Hank Goldberg because they were my hometown affiliates, if you will, that were talking about our sports teams. And you couldn't get that everywhere else. Even if you watched ESPN, they were talking about it nationally and you got your 30 seconds of highlights. But Hank was going to be talking about everything that was happening in the dugout, around the team, all the stuff. So, like, I think people... It's interesting now because, like, I grew up with that, so I have a love for FM radio and AM radio. Now I love podcasts and I listen to it far more. So this is kind of a deviation of our conversation, but, like, what has that experience been like for you in the evolution of the audio space and moving to digital and podcasts and all these other places while you've continued to have success with radio?
So you just said a word that I despise. Radio is radio.
Okay.
Streaming radio is still radio.
Right. Yep.
Podcasting is something totally different.
Okay.
I'm going to show you this.
All right.
What is this?
It's a phone.
It's a phone.
It's a
What else
computer.
is it?
It's a computer.
What else is it?
It's a radio.
It's a radio.
Right.
It's a TV.
Right. It's everything.
It's a mechanism to find podcasts.
Yes.
Before your time,
Yep.
when your dad was a little boy growing up,
Yep.
Mets fan, I believe.
Yes, correct.
He was lying under his covers at night,
Right.
at bedtime,
Yep.
listening to what kind of device?
A radio.
What kind of radio?
A transmitter radio?
Transistor.
Transistor radio. Okay.
This is the difference
There you go.
of generations.
Right. Correct. Right.
This is today's transistor radio.
Okay.
You have children.
Yep.
They have an iPad.
Not yet. So
So they use your phone?
or they use the Google Home.
Whatever.
Right. But they have a device that they use. Yes.
And they know how to use it.
Oh, yeah. Very well.
And they want it all the time.
Yes.
It's no different than what it was back then.
Right.
It
That's
went
great
from
perspective.
The transistor radio
Yep.
to a Walkman
Yep.
to an iPod.
You're correct. Yeah. To the iPod mini. So, like, so before it ever got into a phone. Before
To
it
the
was ever an
phone.
iPhone. Right.
Tell you a funny story. Had a guy that was working for me at QAM. His father was one of the greatest radio sellers out there.
Mm-hmm.
This guy couldn't sell a jacket to an Eskimo.
Okay.
But he was building the website.
Mm-hmm.
This is 1995.
Yeah. Okay.
Get a call. Guy you might have heard of. Mark Cuban.
Of course.
I want to put your radio station on the internet. You want to do what?
Right.
Hold on a second. Hey, Robert, talk to this guy. Well, Robert left WQAM because he understood it
Right.
and became
Saw the
employee 7.
opportunity.
Wow. at AudioNet,
Wow.
which became broadcast.com,
Right.
which got sold to Yahoo.
Right.
I went and met with them.
Yeah.
I said to Mark Cuban, why would anybody want to listen to the radio on the internet? Now that's a visionary
Right.
versus an implementer.
Yep. 1,000%.
Mark was a visionary.
Yep.
And do you know why he built what he built? Do you know what his reason was?
Because it was easier?
No. He wanted to listen to Indiana Hoosiers
That's right.
basketball.
That's right. Wherever
In
he
Dallas.
was. Yeah, that's wherever he was, so he could get it. That's right. I've heard that story.
I didn't see that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, today we use our handheld computer, otherwise called a phone, to listen to radio, watch TV,
Yep.
even Netflix.
Yep.
It's right there on the phone.
Yep. Everything.
I fly all over the place. I'll download 7 episodes so I can watch on the airplane
1,000%.
instead of listening to some Yahoo next to me who makes no sense.
Right. 1,000%. So you pulled some parallel, I mean, some principles there, which just like the foundation of what you were selling your entire career is the same, right? Yeah, it's you.
Me.
You haven't changed. The way people consume the product that you represent or how you help their business has changed, but it's always been you. So talk to us, because first of all, this episode could go on forever. Normally we cut this at 20 minutes. That's not happening today. So you have a successful career through radio. You get involved with the Panthers and the Marlins. You're part of sports radio down here, which is a hot thing in the 90s. And you eventually go on to open up your own agency, right, which primarily works with law firms and helps them with their marketing. How did you go from selling sports radio to now being a consultant? Because you're not selling anything to these firms. You're looking at what they do. You're helping them to get better. You're helping them understand the thing that you have an expertise in. How do you go from there to there?
So if somebody had said to me in 2021, January 21, middle of the pandemic, you're going to open a business 4 months from now.
Yeah.
I would have said, you're fucking out of your mind.
Right.
But working with Anna Jar and Levine for 8.5 years, helping them grow through the state of Florida, we were buying a lot of radio and television. Somebody didn't like what happened and made a complaint to my company. And I get a call. Hey, you need to give up working with the law firm or we're going to have to do something here. Well, it's in the middle of the pandemic, February 15th. I'll never forget it. And I called Mark. He's like, we'll deal with it tomorrow. I said, no, we're going to deal with it now. He's like, you're not going to sleep either way, buddy. So I'm saying we're doing it tomorrow.
Right. So it's tomorrow.
We met the next day, and he gave me the opportunity. He says, go open a business. It's time. And the people at the radio station were absolutely amazing to me. They let me stay on until April 1st so I could get all my affairs in order, insurance for the kids, just make sure everything didn't drop. And April 1st, 2021, in the middle of a pandemic, I opened up the ad agency.
Wow.
Which I've always called a radio advocacy because I really don't like ad agency.
Right.
I'm here to help people.
Right.
I'm an advocate for something that most people don't understand. And
I want to hit on that for a second because most people, I think, would say radio is dead. Radio is dead, right? Radio doesn't work. You prove that that's not the case in your business every single day. Can you help people understand why radio works still and what it means in today's world? With streaming radio, whatever, help people understand it.
So local radio still touches local communities. What the phone or streaming did was give you the ability to take it with you wherever you go. 83% of all people still listen to the radio on a weekly basis.
Makes sense to me because I still do it. I know my brother doesn't, who's 26. He never listens to the radio, but I still do.
But if you brought him in here and I said to him, what's your favorite radio station?
He would tell you the radio station.
No, he wouldn't. He would say, I don't listen to the radio.
Fair.
And I would say, okay, but if you did,
right.
which station would you listen to?
Right.
I always get one from somebody.
Yep.
Then I'll say, okay, I know you don't listen, but if you were going to, could you tell me one personality DJ on that station, whether it's talk or music?
Sure.
Yes. And I always have a lawyer with me
right.
when we do it with a maitre d' or a hostess at a restaurant.
Yep.
And they're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not cool to listen to the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Watch this. Do you eat McDonald's?
Not anymore, but sure, every once in a while.
So the first thing you said was, not anymore.
Right.
But the reality is,
every once in a while,
you have been to McDonald's in 2025 to buy a Coke, an apple pie, a Big Mac,
I'm going for
French
nuggets.
fries.
If I'm going for nuggets, right? Like,
but it's not cool to go to McDonald's. It's not healthy.
Sure.
It's not cool to listen to the radio, so we don't say that.
Yeah, sure. I get that.
The average person still listens. And oh, by the way, if we walk downstairs out of your office and we go through this plaza, the radio is on in one of these stores.
Sure.
So people are listening to it.
Yep.
What is sales? Sales is listening and then educating.
Mm-hmm.
When I worked in radio, when your dad worked in radio, we were talking about a station, which I had to sell, or your dad had to sell that station.
Right.
Today, if I were to sit down with you, Mark, we're not talking about radio stations. We're talking about reaching people. Do you believe TV reaches people?
Of course. Yes.
Do you believe radio reaches people?
I do. Yes.
Okay. So you need to do both and add billboards to have the Holy Trinity.
Sure.
And again, I am now locked and loaded in the personal injury landscape.
Correct.
Which is a different business model than any other business that you could think of or consult with.
Yep.
When a personal injury firm gets a lead and then they sign it up as a client, time on desk is average 14 months before they ever get paid. Tell me another business that's like that.
There's not one.
Not
that I know one, anyway.
So any other business, even on the ball, if we ran a campaign for you, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever the investment level is, Monday morning we could have a conversation and know exactly how much revenue you did off of that campaign.
Sure.
A law firm
not gonna
might have gotten 20 leads, they had 10 cases they wanted, and they signed 8 of them. They'll never know what it's worth.
Yep.
90 days until they get all the insurance.
Right.
Then they got to go through the process of dealing with the people who say you're in good hands who really fuck you left and right.
Right.
The insurance company is not your friend.
Right.
Another misnomer.
Right.
And in anything that we insure, they are looking to pay as little as possible.
Right.
Even your life insurance policy.
So you know this because you became an expert in that space from working with Andajar and Levine for all of those years, which has now equipped you with that expertise to carry that to other personal injury firms, which you then have worked all over the country in lots of different markets, teaching them that. This is what we know works. This is how we've done it.
I don't even go into radio. I ask about the law firm.
Right.
One of the things that your dad and I didn't have prior to him becoming a consultant and a sales trainer and me selling radio, people don't let you under the hood of their business. They are very protected.
Right.
Because when you are selling a specific product, you are looked at as The salesperson,
Right.
when you go in as a consultant or as an advocate agency, and you could speak to people about their business, what do? They open up.
Yep.
Most people who grant you that time want to be better.
Right.
Whether they do business with you or not is not the point. It's getting in there and building a relationship, understanding who they are, what they are, where they want to go. Oh, and where they've been is important. And you could spend an hour before you ever speak about business. So for me, and I don't believe it's any different for you in the coaching business, they've told you everything that they want.
Yep. Can I help you get there now?
Are they willing to make the investment? And I ask every law firm one question.
Yeah. What's the one question?
I'm going to give you $1.2 million. Do you want to invest it in the S&P 500 or in your business?
Where does that number come from? Why
$100,000 a month.
Okay. Got you.
Any good business owner is
Put it
going
in
to
the
put it
business.
into their business.
Right.
Because you're going to 10x your return
Yep.
versus if Trump says something today
Right.
about
Who knows
tariffs,
what it's going to do? You have no control over
you
it.
have no control. You do have control of your business.
Right.
So people will tell you, I think I've had 2 people over the last 4.5 years say that they would invest in the S&P 500.
I'm stealing that line, by the way.
That's
I've
great.
never heard that. I'm going to use that line from now. It's one of the greatest sales lines I've ever heard. I'm going to give you, at whatever your price is per month, I'm going to give you that times 12. I'm going to give that to you. You're going to put it in your business, or you're going to go light it on fire, or you're going to go give it to somebody else to see what they do with it.
What was the other thing you heard outside that you liked?
Oh, so I'm gonna let you have that.
Okay.
I want to let you have that. Can you give the quick little background story about where this comes from? But working with Anajar and Levine, you were.
It's. See, I've got to be led into it now. I'm getting. They're not sales tricks.
It's not right. It's not a sales trick. So we could have this conversation for forever too.
It's actually giving a shit about the person in front of you.
It's real. Like, you actually have to do it. And if you try to fake the genuine care or fake the curiosity or fake the give a shit, it's bad. It doesn't work. That's why, to me, that's why scripts don't work. That's why, the fill in the blanks of what you can say and how you can say it. It's not real.
There's no sales
You got
script.
to own it. You got to own the language. It has to be yours, and it's got to be real, which you've developed over years and years and years. Is there anybody else selling in your business, or are you the only one selling?
I have somebody who I met when I launched my first new partner. We sat down at a bar, and this kid was just sharp as shit.
Yeah.
And I said, one day you're going to come and join my team. I don't know when, but one day you're going to come join me. Well, 3 years later, he just celebrated a year with me.
Congrats.
And he's awesome.
Yeah.
But why did I want him? Because he genuinely cared
Right.
about what we were doing.
Right. Was he trying to sell you something at another place? How did you guys meet?
So, I have formulas
Yeah.
that I've learned over the years
Yeah.
as to how to make a campaign work.
Yep.
Sorry, Dan. But everybody wants to beat Morgan & Morgan.
Sure.
And Dan's a good friend of mine now.
Okay.
But we have to outshare them because nobody could outspend them.
Right.
Nobody could outinvest Morgan & Morgan.
Right. You already know you're behind that, and if you can't outinvest it, it's nearly impossible to beat somebody then. So you got to create a different way to compete.
No different than you're coaching the multiple different business lines that you coach.
Yep.
There's no one business that's for everybody.
Yep.
Marketing, which they all do,
Right.
however they do it, is intentional to reach people.
Yeah.
Because if you try and be all things to all people,
Right.
you will fail.
Right.
Know who you are and implement it. no different than On the Ball or ROI 360 Plus.
Yep.
We know who our avatar is.
Sure. Ideal client profiles, all the stupid languages that are out there, but you have your target. You have a target. You know what your target looks like.
You've worked with banks. You've worked with cable companies. You worked with radio stations. You've worked with multitudes of sales organizations.
Yep.
At the end of the day, what is the one thing they all need to be?
They all need to be curious.
Curious and authentic.
Yep.
You're not selling your company.
Correct.
You're selling what somebody wants.
It's maybe the best way to end the show right there, because if somebody can tell you that at the end of their career or later in their years of their career with so much experience in retail, in radio, as an entrepreneur, niche, all the different experiences you've had, for that to be the underlying philosophy for everybody is to understand that it's about you. And it's about putting yourself out there and caring about other people, regardless of whatever industry or service you provide. Nobody else should learn anything else. It's the only thing that should be taught in school.
So you have an audience of entrepreneurs, sales.
Yep.
Because entrepreneurial business is sales.
Yep.
What's important is, number one, know who the hell you're calling before you call them.
Yeah.
And do you guys make your own sales calls still?
Of course we do.
Okay.
Like, to me, and I had this conversation with my dad. My dad is the same way. Like, it doesn't matter how big we get, what we do. I always want to be close to it. I always want to be close to the customer. So whether I'm making initial calls still, or we call them virtual coffees. So if I'm having the virtual coffees still, or I always want to be in it, particularly because I want to prove to other people I can. I think it's important.
So watch this. If I challenged you to make 100 calls today, new businesses, people you don't know, how many could you connect with?
Well, just by law of averages, maybe half, but I'd have to do extensive amounts of research on those people to figure out what we're going to connect on first. That's the first thing we teach in our sales training is do your research before you connect.
Okay. How are you getting through?
Well, if I'm calling, I'm not getting to anybody. I'm getting maybe 2 answers all day long. If I'm calling the phone, if I'm calling people on their phone, I'm getting maybe 2 people to pick up.
Maybe 2.
Maybe.
I agree. So, for everybody out there in On the Ball, the Daily Edge world, follow these people, whether it be LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Number 2, do not slide into their DMs. They don't know you.
Right?
Start liking and commenting on what they're posting. Start understanding their business. Number 3, eventually somebody's going to heart or comment on what you have said. At that moment, thank you for noticing my comment on your post. I've been enamored with you and your business for several months now. Your line would be, I'd like to have a virtual cup of coffee with you. My line would be, I'm ready to get on a plane and come to see you. I want to learn more about you. I don't want to earn your business. I want to learn more about you.
Genuinely. Really. I really do.
So sales comes back to one thing. People. People matter. Relationships matter. Your dad and I know each other almost 40 years. Because he sold my grandfather a phone.
It's unreal.
And my grandfather had a broken phone, and somehow your dad figured out how to swap it out. Because it definitely didn't get fixed.
Right.
Didn't get fixed.
Got taken care of, though.
But we got to know one another. And yes, eventually your dad came to QAM, worked with me. We got some great stories that we
Yep.
can't tell here. We cannot tell here. But for the purpose of what we've talked about, we've covered a lot.
Yeah.
Number one, again, don't be fearful. You're not going to lose your job if you can't make the sale. But be real in your sales force, because I could open up a sales force now in any sales organization and find all the bullshit in there.
Right.
And it's full of bullshit.
Yep. Everybody lying to themselves.
As a salesperson, your job is not to appease your manager.
That's a good lesson as
Your
well.
job is for you. Are you passionate about what you do? Do you love what you do? And I'm sorry, I've managed enough people and been around enough sales organizations that more than 50% of the people don't love what they're doing.
Yep. It's true.
So if you love selling, find a product that you are passionate about, because you won't work another day in your life. And with all the organizations that you work with, you could pick out in a sales team of 10 or 100, the 50 that do, the 50 that don't.
Amen.
Don't do it. Be happy.
Gary, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You crushed it. This is, a great episode. Thank you guys for joining us. As always, put in the comments your best takeaways from Gary's list of knowledge that he gave to us. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for finding the edge.